Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is June 22nd, 2024, and Deco just gave an extensive interview where he discussed some important topics including Ter Stegen and the signing of Joan Garcia. Also, the confirmation that Barcelona are trying to sign Nico Williams. And finally, speaking of Nico Williams, I do have an update in regards to when will Barcelona pay his release clause. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and we'll begin this video with the news that Deco just gave an extensive interview to La Vanguardia where he discussed several topics. I'm only going to focus on the big ones, starting with Ter Stegen, because Deco has broken his silence and talked about Ter Stegen when he was asked, is he going to talk to Ter Stegen to let him know that he's being pushed out? And this is what the Barcelona sporting director had to say. I don't have to talk to him. My job is to build the best possible team for the coach. From there, it's the coach's call. There's no clause in any contract that guarantees playing time. So when it comes to these statements, I think Deco is confusing things because, yes, he is right. His job is to build a team by signing players, and then it's the coach's job to figure out who's a starter and who's not. Flick is going to watch these players play. He'll decide who's the better fit for a starter and who's a substitute. And Deco's also correct that there are no guarantees of minutes, and there shouldn't be any guarantees of minutes. This club should be ran based on merit. And if you deserve to be the starter, then you should be the starter. And if not, then you should be on the bench. No one should be guaranteed minutes. So I do agree 100% with everything that Deco said. But I think where the problem is or lies is that Deco is confusing things, because Joan Garcia was not signed to compete with Ter Stegen and Tech and then see who's going to be the starter and who's going to be the bench player. No, Joan Garcia, the plan is that Joan Garcia is going to be the number one, Tech is going to be number two, and Ter Stegen is going to be pushed out or fired. And in that case, yes, it is your job, Deco, to talk to him, because just like it's your job to assemble a team, it's also your job to disassemble a team. What do I mean by that? You can't just sign players. You also have to get rid of players. And well, just like your job is to talk to people to sign players, you talk to other clubs, agents, players in order to convince them to come to you. You also got to talk to players who you want to fire. And for example, Deco's already doing that, right? That's why we're talking about how Deco's going to meet with people like Pau Victor, like Pablo Torre, to let them know, hey, you're not going to be getting any minutes. It's better if you go somewhere else. So yes, it is your job, Deco, to talk to Ter Stegen if you're planning to fire him or push him out of the club. But by saying this, what makes me think is that Deco simply doesn't have the balls, because obviously it's a lot easier to talk to someone like Pau Victor, like Pablo Torre, which is Deco is set to do, and tell them, hey, we don't want you anymore, because those guys are very pretty low on the hierarchy. They're pretty young, so it's much easier to push those guys out versus talking to someone like Ter Stegen, who's a captain, who's been at the club for a long time, much higher in the hierarchy. That's a little bit more difficult conversation. So by Deco saying, oh, it's not my job when it comes to Ter Stegen, but it's my job when it comes to the other players, it tells me that, well, Deco doesn't have the balls. And that's, of course, concerning, because as a sporting director of one of the biggest clubs, you should have the balls to do not just the easy things, but you should also have the balls to do, well, the difficult things. But anyways, Deco also mentioned the Joan Garcia signing and how Barcelona changes priority, because remember, a few weeks ago, Barcelona had decided that the goalkeeper was not a priority, that Ter Stegen and Tech were going to be the two goalkeepers, and the third one would be either Kochen or Jakubishvili. And Deco explained why Barcelona changed their position and decided to sign Joan Garcia. And this is what the sporting director had to say. We had to think about the present and the future. Joan is a young, top-level goalkeeper. He may play now or maybe not for another year or two, but everyone starts from zero. Nobody has an advantage. The goal was not a priority, but the market gave us a chance. And if we waited, the cost could have been higher or the player could have gone elsewhere. We had to act. So Deco here explaining again something that I talked about in previous videos, how initially The goalkeeper position was not a priority. There was no plans to sign someone, but given the market opportunity, Barcelona decided that they needed to act, and as such, they went ahead and signed Joan Garcia. Now, Deco also confirmed that Barcelona are indeed trying to sign Nico Williams, and this is what the sporting director had to say. As wingers, we only have Lamine and Rafinha. Ferran Torres is now more of a striker. When we're missing Lamine or Rafinha, the team's level drops. So we're looking at options based on quality and costs. There's a clear criterion that any player coming to Barca must believe in the project. Nico didn't come last season as Dani Olmo was a bigger priority, but now Nico and others are showing more desire to join. So Deco here confirming that yes, Barcelona are trying to sign Nico Williams because he's now showing, that he wants to come to Barcelona, and that last season he didn't come because Olmo was a priority, which of course we all know that's a lie. The priority was Nico, but when Nico said no, then all of a sudden we had to sign someone because God forbid we close the window without signing someone, and that's when Olmo was signed. But nonetheless, Deco confirming the good news that Barcelona are indeed trying to sign Nico Williams, and of course we already knew that because the two have already reached an agreement for Nico Williams to come to Barcelona. Now, the last bit of news, and I know this news many of you are not going to like, but Deco did confirm that Araujo will be staying at Barcelona, and this is what Deco had to say. We want to improve the team, not make it worse. If he leaves, talking about Araujo, we'll lose an important piece. He had a difficult season with unfair criticism. He's one of the best center backs in the world. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to get back to his best. So Deco confirming that Araujo is indeed not leaving, and I do agree with the statement that Araujo is one of the best center backs in the world, but unfortunately, he just did not fit in Flick's system, which of course is two different things because I see a lot of people saying, oh, Araujo's trash, Araujo's trash. He's not trash, he's a great center back, but he just did not fit in Flick's system, which is a completely different thing. And while since Araujo is staying, I really hope that he learns how to play under Flick's system, because it'd be a shame to have such a talented center back who cannot play under Flick's system. Anyways, let's end this video with the news, or with an update in regards to when will Barcelona pay Nico Williams' release clause. And the news is related to what Nico Williams is currently going through with the Athletic Club de Bilbao fans. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a mural in the city of Bilbao, which is commemorating the last time Athletic Club Bilbao won the Copa del Rey. And as you can see, there's inside the heart is the two Williams brother, Iñaki and Nico Williams. And well, today or yesterday, someone defaced that mural and completely erased Nico Williams from the mural, only leaving Iñaki. And then they wrote in it, stay or leave, or go or stay, I should say, you have lost respect. So again, it says go or stay, you have lost respect. And they have deleted the picture of Nico Williams because the fans are pretty upset that Nico Williams has decided to join Barcelona. And to that I say, what the hell did you exactly expect? When you're as talented and have as a promising career as Nico Williams, of course he's going to end up in a bigger team. No player like that stays at the team that they started unless it was already a big team like Lamine starting at Barcelona. So of course Nico Williams is going to look to move. He's going to look to go to a bigger club where he can earn more money, when he can win more trophies. Did you expect that Nico was for real going to stay at Athletic Club Bilbao, a mediocre club, for the rest of his career? That's absolutely stupid. And then, saying go or stay, you have lost respect. It's like, bro, who even wants your respect? Like, you're nobody. But anyways, Iñaki Williams did respond through his Twitter account, where he wrote the following: behind an anonymous lack of respect, there is always someone too small to show their face. And I agree 100%, because unfortunately we live in the age of no consequences thanks to social media, where we have all these keyboard warriors who think, their actions don't have consequence. And well, to those people, eventually, once they get punched in the face, they learn their lesson. But for now, this person, nobody knows who he is. So I guess he'll just continue living on without any consequences. Now, Barcelona are looking to pay the release clause as soon as possible in order, to put a stop to this. And so the player doesn't have to go through more torment. And they're saying maybe this upcoming week, maybe the next one. We'll have to wait and see. But just know that Barcelona are working hard on paying the clause as soon as possible. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video before this one, so make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.